I just woke up, but in today's video, I'm gonna be showing you guys basically the settings I use for sniping, the classes I use, and pretty much how to snipe basically. First, I want to start off with my settings, just so I can pretty much show you what I use. Graphic settings, field of view, pretty much doesn't really matter, but you can take a look at it anyway. FOV, you just pretty much just want to set that to what you're used to, what you usually use. It doesn't really make that big of a deal. But I just put mine at 109 because I don't know, it feels better. Like I have like not a great eyesight, so it helps to like see everything a little bit closer. All right, controller settings. I'm playing on 1414 all the time. That's just what I play on in every single COD. I've always played max sense. Never ever played a COD on controller without max sense. Also with high zoom, I'm playing in the maximum high zoom. You don't have to do this, but I just do it just so I can make like... Okay, so my button layout is tactical. I got flipped on, so I shoot with the bumpers instead of the triggers. Aim response curve type, that's linear for me. I used to play on standard. If you're mainly red gunning, you probably would just want to be using standard, but if you're sniping, you probably want to use linear. Controller vibration is disabled, of course. You don't want that on. That'll just mess you up every time you're trying to take a shot. So target aim assist enabled, target aim assist mode precision. I also have my steady aim behavior to toggle instead of hold. And I noticed that not a lot of people do this. I feel like maybe, I don't know if I'm the only one that does this, but not a lot of people do this. It's a lot easier. Like if you're grinding for like long shots on camos, you probably want to have toggle steady aim on, because it just makes it a lot easier to get those long shots and those you know, the holding your breath shots. So yeah, you definitely want that on. Okay, now I got my stick layout default, no stick swap. Left stick minimum input threshold is 0, and then I got 99 for the max. You basically want to have these to like 99 and then these to 0. For the right stick, you basically just want to have like the lowest you can have without stick drift. For dead zone sensitivity, always keep that at the lowest. Auto move forward, I keep that on disabled. Auto sprint enabled. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, now I'm gonna be basically showing you what classes I use for each gun. Okay, let's start off with the Tundra. For the Tundra, what I use is the Tiger Team barrel because it's the strongest barrel. But what normally people don't know is that you can also kind of just swap it out for the Hammer Forged, but it depends, because you are probably going to get a lot more hit markers with the Hammer Forged. But the thing about the Hammer Forged is it cuts your like rechambering time down so much. Like you can like almost instantly fire again after you just shot. So like it's really nice. Like the speed is really nice, so you might want to try that out if you want to. Next, I got the Tiger Team Spotlight, which you can also swap out for the steady aim laser. I don't use an underbarrel on this class, but you could actually use a bruiser grip or a bipod. Like either one feels pretty nice. Got the 7-round mag, then I got the serpent wrap. Okay, I use the marathon pad, but when I'm playing search and destroy, I like to use the raider pad because you get like more speed when you're like strafing side to side, you know? Okay, now moving on to the Pellington. I use the Tiger Team barrel, of course. Got the Tiger Team Spotlight, which like the Tundra, you can also swap out with the steady aim laser. I like to use the 7-round mag, serpent wrap, and also the marathon pad. It's also like the Tundra, where you can use the Raider stock for more mobility if you want to do that. Swiss, I got Tiger Team barrel again, the 5mm laser sight. You can use the bruiser grip. It's actually really good on the Swiss. So I got the 8-round mag, got the serpent wrap, I got the no stock Barrett, Tiger Team barrel, the Tiger Team Spotlight again. I used the patrol grip for this one. 7-round speed mag. I got the serpent wrap. You can also use the CQB pad or Raider pad if you wanted to. Now the ZRG, I actually use a sound moderator and a rapid fire. Also, I got the 5-round mag, the serpent wrap, and the CQB pad. You can also put on the Raider stock for more mobility. And the Tiger Team Spotlight helps with seeing people easier, so you want that on. What I usually use for regular game modes are the Flak Jacket, Tac Mask, and the Gung Ho perks, because they're probably the best to use if you're just playing regular lobbies like 12v12, 6v6 or whatever. But if you're playing snipers only, I would probably say use something like Paranoia or Attack Mask. Ninja is really good for Search and Destroy, so you always gotta have that whenever you're playing Search and Destroy. I'm gonna be hopping into a custom game so I can show you pretty much how I like practice and warm up sometimes when I'm feeling like really rusty. I pick Nuketown for the map, and I set up a mode basically in my saved called warm up. Basically what this does is it makes it so I can put on bots, and the bots only have pistols, so like none of the like really annoying shit. Make sure that I put all the bots on the opposite team and just me on this team, so I can like focus on just getting my aim right and shit like that. Limited score, map sweeping. I restricted pretty much most of the like regular guns, but yeah, just a regular TDM other than that. Now you pretty much just want to start and save the setup into your save game modes. The Pellington is my favorite sniper just because of the way it feels. My aim is going to be pretty shaky because I recently just switched out my thumbstick. First, I want to talk about like sensitivity. When you're trying to find the right sensitivity, what you want to do is you want to focus on like how accurate you can keep your in the center of your screen to like where people might be. And if you're like overshooting things, you probably want to turn your sense down. And a good way of practicing sensitivity is like to just find a good spot and like do a bunch of 360s trying to like get that area every time, because if you manage to do that and you can like train your like thumb to do the same amount of turning every time, then you're gonna be really good at like just knowing how much you need to turn and if your sensitivity is too high or not. Pretty much the most important part about sniping is timing, so you gotta be able to time everything right, from like when people are gonna come around corners to when you're gonna be able to shoot next, like when you're rechambering. You gotta be able to time everything perfectly. Sometimes when you're scoping in, like if you go too fast like this, you're not gonna be able to hit your shot. You see yourself fully scope in, the game doesn't register you like scoping in fully until like you've been in like this view for at least like a millisecond, so you gotta just get used to that timing and know when to pull the trigger. I'm sure like most of you know how to slide cancel already, like just slide and then tap your crouch button again. Another thing you want to be doing is you want to be kind of double tapping your scope around corners so that you can like get your shot off quickest. If you and someone else are coming around a corner at the same time, you're already double tapping your gun, then you're gonna be able to shoot faster than them. This corner while you're on the other one, and they can see you first before you see them because their gun is in the way or your gun is in the way, and then you'll just die anyway. So you just gotta know which fights to challenge and what to push and what not to push. I'm sure you've heard this a million times, but another thing you just want to be doing is just centering your shot on like your enemy. And like, of course, I mean like looking at the dot in the middle of your screen and like finding like where it should be at. What I mean also is, what I like to do is I like to focus more on the target. So like if I see someone, I'll focus on that person first, and I will make sure this dot lines up to them before I shoot. You can miss if you're like moving like while you're shooting, so you don't want to be moving while you're shooting. Tap tap like around a corner, stop, and then shoot. I've been feeling pretty rusty recently, so a sequence that I've tried to like practice a lot to get my shot timings on is like I wrote down like a certain sequence of shit like you gotta do so that you can hit your shot. Like basically what I mean is like I'm tapping and then I shoot, but after I shoot I kind of like crouch and then start running again, because there's a little bit of slowness when you just shoot, so you just want to like get up and go as quick as you possibly can, you know what I mean? If you've like just killed someone, the best time to start preparing for the next guy, like when you're tapping on your aim button, is when you're rechambering. So like I killed this guy, I'm rechambering, I'm tapping already, tapping already, tapping already. You just gotta make that into like a seamless motion. Tapping already, tapping already, tapping already. You know what I mean? Once you get your 360s right, it's gonna be really easy to hit those shots. You gotta just be always aiming for the head. Like, it's just gonna be your best bet in any situation. But it just really depends, because if you're aiming at head height and they jump and then you hit them in like the stomach or the legs or something, you're probably gonna get a hit marker. So you gotta kind of predict where they're gonna go before you do that. Another way to pretty much confuse whoever you're playing against is to try and like drop shots sometimes. Don't do it too much, only when you need to. Like you see someone, get the quick drop shot, but like it's really hard to drop shot because like you get this animation when you're drop shotting, but the way you want to skip out that animation is by drop shotting when you're shooting, so that you pretty much like skip out the whole animation. It's hard to like get the hang of and master, but if you do it enough, it'll just like come naturally. You get down as soon as you shoot, and then you can just instantly kill the next person. Probably the second most important thing about sniping is tracking. You're gonna wanna like just learn how to track with your sensitivity. Like, I will just get the bots to follow me around. I will like try and kill every single bot while I'm just in my scope like this. What I mean is like stay in your scope and look for them, but when you see them, you stop and you take your shot. I see them, I stop, I take my shot, I keep moving. I stop, I take my shot, I keep moving. It's a lot more effective to do this when like the bots are moving a lot. It's gonna be really difficult, but if you can get good at doing that, you're gonna be really good at just tracking onto people. You're probably always getting killed in matches and wondering how people are like switching to their second gun faster than you are. They're pressing their swap button and then pressing it twice just to pull up the gun faster, just like that. You see, like an insta swap. That's pretty much what it is. So if you see you're about to run out of ammo, you just fired your last bullet, swap, insta swap. Okay, so recap, get your 360s right. Make sure you pretty much hit the same place all the time. Gotta track, stop, shoot, stop every time. Drop shots, basically you shoot, and while you're shooting, you get down and shoot again. Timing for firing is you want to shoot while you're rechambering. You start tapping again, shoot, start tapping again and shoot. But you also don't want to shoot while you're moving, so that's why you stop. That's why you miss if you keep shooting while you're moving. You want to make sure you give the game enough time to fully scope in before you take your shot. Otherwise, it'll just completely miss. Forgot to mention is actually try and practice your no scopes. You can like make specific classes to like hit really far no scopes, and like that'll basically train you to like think of the dot in your screen like an actual scope itself, and like only kill using that, and that'll really improve your centering if you get good at that. Again, you want to peek corners. Like if you're in a position like this where they have the peek advantage, you probably maybe don't want to challenge it. Look where your teammates and where the enemies are spawning at, so you know where to be at what time, because if you're looking to get clips, then you're gonna want to know where everybody is and where they're likely to spawn. Just look at where your teammates are, and wherever your teammates are not, that's probably where the bad guys are gonna be, you know? Another thing, demonic movement like slide canceling, tapping, checking corners, and just jumping at the right time is gonna help you to avoid being hit, because it doesn't matter really if your aim is good if you're just getting hit all the time. If you're on mouse and keyboard, a lot of this stuff should work for you too. It'll probably just like take maybe some different methods, but it's all pretty much the same. At least 50% of the time, what I'm looking at is my minimap, not even in front of me, like not even like the people or whatever's in front of me. I'm just looking at the minimap because I want to know where people are. Like, I can't do anything without information. Instead of practicing based on the middle of the screen, like the dot, you want to be focusing on where the actual person is and try and move your dot to where they are. Like person first, dot second. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense, but you'll get it. Alright, that's pretty much gonna be it. Just gonna drop this nuke and get the fuck out of here. And hope you enjoyed the video.